Hi, I am Emilio Pantojas, Senior Researcher of the Institute of Caribbean Studies at the University of Puerto Rico Rio Piedras campus. Today, I would like to clarify some facts. We all saw Bad Bunny, he was very successful. He presented the best of Puerto Rican, Latin American, and in fact, American culture from Canada to Patagonia. But there were a number of issues that people are still debating. One, is Puerto Rico part of the United States? Two, are Puerto Ricans American citizens the same as people born in Idaho or Iowa? Three, why do Puerto Ricans speak Spanish? Why is Spanish the Puerto Rican vernacular? And four, what is it that makes Puerto Ricans different and that has irritated conservatives? Well, I'll try to explain to you these issues very briefly. So let me start. First, Puerto Rico is not part of the United States. Puerto Rico is a possession of the United States. It is an unincorporated territory that belongs to, but it is not a part of the United States. It is governed under the powers of the territorial clause of the U.S. Constitution, that is Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2, that gives the U.S. Congress the power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or the property belonging to the United States. Let me put it to you this way. My goatee is part of me. My shoes belong to me. So Puerto Rico, which is an island of the mainland, uh, is not a part of the United States. It belongs to the United States. The sovereignty of Puerto Rico resides in the US Congress. At the beginning of the century, when the United States took possession of Puerto Rico as a result of the Spanish-American War, there was a case, Downs versus Vidal, that tried to clarify whether Puerto Ricans were protected by the Constitution in full. And Justice Edward Douglas White said, no, Puerto Ricans are foreign in a domestic sense. Puerto Ricans territories, not just Puerto Rico, but territories are not necessarily protected by all of the uh, constitutional rights. That may have changed, but the fact of the matter is that we are foreign in a domestic sense. We're foreign in the sense that our vernacular is Spanish, not English. And as you saw in Bad Bunny's presentation, we all speak Spanish. Second, Puerto Rico is a Hispanic American nation. In fact, at the time of the invasion, we already had the literature. The first Puerto Rican book was El Jibar, the Peasant, by Manuel Alonso. And you can see the image of an 18th century peasant with a cock, a rooster, ready to go to the cockfights. And so we had a national character, we had our own music, we had our own dance, and our language was Spanish. Here you have internationally recognized and laureate writers like Mayra Santos and Luis Rafael Sanchez, among many others. Puerto Rican literature is part of the Hispanic American literature, although there are writers in the diaspora that write in English and are also well known and recognized. Third, Puerto Ricans became citizens of the United States in 1917, which means that we are statutory citizens. We're citizens by statute. The Jones Act of 1917 conferred citizenship to Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans did not ask for it. It was not a petition. It was not consulted in a referendum. In fact, I asked Copilot, and it says citizenship was conferred without Puerto Ricans being asked to democratically approve it. That was the reply. Some people say that the main aim was to recruit Puerto Ricans for World War I. That may have been true, but it was also a message to European powers that the United States owned Puerto Rico, that Puerto Rico belonged to the United States, and it was not in dispute. Finally, Puerto Ricans have asked for statehood in the last four plebiscites, but not with a clear majority, not with a clear mandate. Is there a clear statehood mandate? Well, there have been seven plebiscites, two won by Commonwealth, and the rest, the other one was won by none of the above, which meant that people rejected all of the alternatives. And the last four have been won by statehood, but never with a clear majority. There was one 52% majority, but this is what people are voting for. Puerto Ricans, when they are asked to vote for statehood, they are voting for what I would call Creole statehood. That is a bilingual state with more federal assistance, with legal cockfights, with its own Puerto Rican Olympic team, and with Miss Puerto Rican pageant. So when we're talking about statehood, there is no clear mandate. There is a majority of electors. There is a majority of voters that vote for statehood, but they are not a clear majority, an overwhelming majority, because the party in power, the New Progressive Party, only counts those votes that are not left blank. Blank votes, which are protest votes, are excluded from the counting, therefore inflating the majority. So those are facts that we need to know in order to debate. Thank you.